In this video, I want to do a comparison of two methods that you can use to dial in the stability of your APM 2.5. And these two methods are known as auto trim and save trim. Now, in a previous video, I had done a auto trim demonstration with ArduCopter 2.8.1, I believe. But now I'm flying with 3.0.1, and I want to talk you through and actually do a comparison of auto trim and save trim. So we're going to start with auto trim because it doesn't require as much setup as save trim. And you'll notice the LED sequence on the board currently is in an unarmed state. The blue LED just means we're trying to get a GPS signal because we're indoors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to arm with a down and rudder right, and I'm going to hold that for 15 seconds. And during that time, we'll see the LED sequence change on our board. So I'm going to go ahead and arm, and I'm holding down and right. And so that right there is your standard arming sequence with a constant red LED, and I'm still holding. And you'll notice in a second, it'll start cycling through. Now we have A, B, and C blinking. Now we're currently in auto trim mode. Now once you do the 15-second arming to get into auto trim mode, you want to hover for about 25 seconds and just try to keep it as stable as possible. And then after 25 seconds, you want to go ahead and land. Okay, so now I've landed, and what will happen is that the trim settings will automatically be written to the memory on board. So I'll go ahead and take it back up in the air. It's definitely a lot more stable now. You know, there's a little bit of drift, but all in all, the auto trim definitely helps out. So let me go ahead and show you guys how we do save trim, and then we'll see if I can tell the difference. Okay, now let's talk through the save trim method. So you can see that I'm in Mission Planner and connected to my APM. Let's go over to, and just for the sake of this demonstration, I went ahead and reset or reloaded the firmware so that our results are starting from scratch. So we're going to go to software and then click on ArduCopter PIDs, and you'll notice down here we have this channel 7 option. So in there we're going to change that to save trim and then write params to the board, and now we have channel 7 set to save trim. Okay, now with our receiver, this is the FreeSky receiver that I am using with my Turnigy. We're going to wire up channel 5 on the receiver, and we're going to have that go to channel 7 on the APM board, which is, we have 4 of our pins for our motors, and then we have 5, 6, and 7. So now channel 7 is wired up. Now with channel 5 of our receiver wired up to channel 7 input on the APM, we are going to configure this gear switch so that when we want to do the save trim operation, we can do that and trigger it. Okay, so what we need to do, we're going to go into our settings, and we'll go down to auxiliary channel, and for channel 5 we're going to set that to gear. So I'm going to hit menu, verify that it's there, yeah, and now our toggle switch is configured on channel 5. Okay, so the tricky thing is, if you look at your settings, one thing you're going to have to make certain of on your endpoints, we'll go down to that. Now if you see here, I have my gear switch endpoints at 100% each. Now you might need to mess with those to get them set properly. Now if we look at Mission Planner, which I have connected, you'll see input number 7, and so I'll toggle the switch, and that goes up to about PWM of 1915 on channel 7. And what you want is when you toggle the switch, you need your PWM to be greater than 1800 for the save trim feature to work. I just wanted to point that out. Now you can always go in here and bump up and down your endpoints to make sure that for your on position and off position, on your off you want to be less than 1800 PWM, and on your on you want to be greater than 1800. So as I showed you in Mission Planner, we're ready to go, and now we're going to try to do the save trim feature. Before I take the mini quad up, let me talk you through what will happen with save trim. So we're going to hover, and what we're going to try to do is work with our trims, our rudder, our roll, our pitch, and get those dialed in to where when we're trimming, we want the quad to be stable and centered in the middle of the room. For both auto trim and save trim modes, you want to be in an environment that's windless. Okay, so after we get everything dialed in on the trims, we'll land, and that's when we're going to flip our gear switch. Our trims should be written to the APM, so that will be persisted, and then we'll put our trims back to where they were, the default positions, and then we'll take it up and everything should be dialed in. This is a 3.0.1 firmware load with no tweaks yet. So rolls to the right, I'm going to trim back a little bit. And when it's pitching forward, I just want to trim back a little bit. Get this thing to stay centered. So there, it's looking pretty good. Right about where we want it. So I'm going to land. I'll take it over here and land it on the table. And then when I land, I'm going to go ahead and toggle that channel 7, and it's going to write those values to the board. Toggle back, and you'll notice my roll is a little bit to the left, pitch a little bit back. So now that we're landed, I'm going to go ahead and bring those back up to where they belong, to their center points. We didn't have to mess with yaw at all. Now we're going to take the quad back up, and everything should be pretty stable, and the save trim procedure will be complete. It's pretty dialed in. Very nice. I'd have to say it's probably a little bit more dialed in than the auto trim mode. So to sum this up, auto trim is definitely the easier way to go about trimming out your APM 2.5, at least in my opinion. Hold down to the right for 15 seconds, hover for 25, land, and you're done. And then save trim, obviously you noticed all the work that took to wire this up, set up our gear switch, and do all of that. But save trim, in my opinion, you can definitely get it dialed in a lot tighter. And in both cases, both auto trim and save trim, you can do the process multiple times. So what I will do from here on out is save trim when I'm in the garage to get things dialed in, and if I'm ever in the field and need to fine tune, I will use the auto trim. And I read somewhere that the auto trim is going away. Once again, this is ArduCopter 3.0.1. Both save trim and auto trim work, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, I know this was kind of a long one, but I wanted to document the differences between the two, kind of give you my perspective. So hope it was useful. Please post any comments or questions below, and thanks for watching.